Dr. Lena Sherwood, relationship coach. And I try and come on here to answer some questions on relationships. So we have our first question today. Do you think it's too soon to move your boyfriend in after 1 year of dating? How do you feel? How are things going? You know, people have all kinds of timelines, and you know your timeline. So if your relationship is good and you feel like the two of you are being grown-ups and, you care about each other a great deal and you respect each other and you're committed to each other, you decide. Absolutely. So yeah, don't worry so much about timelines, just what feels right for you. I'm more concerned about whether it's healthy or not. So there. Okay. Oh, you are most welcome. Just as my husband and I, we're married 30 years. We got engaged after a year of dating and then married not too long after that. Okay, here we go. Why do I tend to start arguments over nothing? Well, it's possible you have some underlying things that you're irritated about when it comes to your partner. Maybe you're not really talking about the real things. So it could be that you're sabotaging, like you're kind of, moving things. Maybe there's a part of you like, I like this, but I don't know I like this. And so you're kind of uncertain. So you're kind of messing things up on purpose, which I doubt, but not consciously on purpose. So what I would suggest is think a little bit about, is there anything really you'd rather talk about that you guys are not addressing? Because sometimes there's a bigger issue that is causing more stress and making people irritable because it's not being dealt with. Does that help? Okay. Do you think children should be raised with religion or let them choose completely? Ooh, that's a really good one. So it really depends on what your own values are. That's a very personal question for many. And so some are diehard, I want this is kind of the thing, and others are not. So really, I would go with your gut feeling. Some kids really want, people are they're celebrating this and they're celebrating that and they're going to church and I was Catholic, so I had my communion and I had all of that. And there were some of my Protestant friends or my non-religious friends who were kind of like wanting to be a part of things because there's also a sense of belonging that comes with that, right? So if there's something there that you already value, I think that you should just go with your gut feeling. Again, it's a very personal thing. So I'm really all about just raise them well, raise them with love, give them all the structure you need, give them all the flexibility they need, and teach them to be very good human beings. That's really all that matters, isn't it? How long should I wait to kiss someone? When you're ready. If you think this is going somewhere, why wouldn't you? There's no timeline on that. Again, respect. Make sure you're reading your cues right. Make sure that you ask, hey, I'd really like to kiss you. Ask. I'm really all about just saying things out loud when you can. I hope that helps. Okay. Especially when both parents believe in the same religion. Yes. So again, I'm really all about giving your kid a good, healthy environment in the best way you can. And so if that's really how you feel, then go for it. Go for it. You're welcome. Understandable. Okay, understandable. Thank you. You are most welcome. How to respectfully tell your marriage therapist we don't mesh well. Let me make sure I got that question correct. How to respectfully tell your marriage therapist we don't mesh well. So you want to fire your marriage therapist? Am I getting that correct? Because that's somebody, a therapist is somebody you're hiring. You're paying somebody. So I was a marriage therapist for a long time, and this happens. Sometimes the marriage therapist was with it enough to kind of like call it, and I haven't fired anybody, but I kind of felt like I was not the best person for them. So just easily say that, call it and say, I don't know what it is, but I'm feeling like you said, we're not a good fit. A good fit is a very common term that we used a lot too. Are they a good fit? Are we a good fit? So there's that. Like, use those words, or just kind of say, we want to take a break. You don't owe your therapist any explanations. In the end of the day, this is still a service that is about you, that you have chosen to hire, and it's not going to click with everybody. So if it's not working, just come out and say. Make sure to bring it up though. Don't just not show up, because maybe there's something else that's bothering you between you and your therapist that needs to be addressed. That could be very important for you moving forward. So I hope that helps. It's a great question though, honestly. Okay. Thank you. Yes, my husband and I both feel that way. We have therapy in an hour. Oh, I just find it hilarious, because that's how, But again, speak it, because maybe it's possible that you and your husband are also, just to be challenging, it's possible that the two of you are also avoiding the work or the challenges that your therapist is kind of putting you through, because that's a possibility too. Maybe they're getting too close to actually something that's uncomfortable, and maybe there's a part of you that's like, okay, you know what, we're not meshing well, we're not, So again, I just always find that it's better to be truthful about these things, because it might not be the therapist that's the issue. Just saying, but you would know. Okay. All right. And here we go. I'm a 35-year-old female, and my boyfriend is 30, male. We've been together 2.5 years. How long should I wait for the next step? Are you ready for the next step? If you're ready for the next step, you say that you're ready for the next step. If you think your partner is not ready for the next step, but you are, I think you should have a conversation about that. But you're ready when you're ready. There's no timeline, there's no minimum, there's no maximum. But I'm really all about speaking it out loud. Say it. Say your concerns. Ask your questions. Any question that involves or affects your partner is an important one. All of it. So I'm hoping that that's, my next step. Marriage, engagement. My time is so precious. He is dragging his feet. Okay, so might be time to call him on it and say, feel like you're dragging your feet. Use your own words, but if that's kind of how you're feeling, I feel like you're stalling. Anything I should know? Have these conversations. These are really, really important conversations. And you don't want to wait until you're 5 years in, 8 years in to kind of find out that, he was actually never really wanting to fully commit to you. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's so lovely of you. Lorna is supporting, saying good luck. I think she's giving very good advice. Oh, Lorna, you're sweet, honestly. Thank you, everybody who's coming in. Oh my goodness, I got a couple of follows. I appreciate it, you guys. I'm here. I'm trying very hard to help. So if I can, I'm 20. My boyfriend is 19. I find he doesn't communicate with me about how he feels. Unfortunately, that's a very common one. But it doesn't mean that you're doomed to stay there. Communication doesn't come very easy to everybody. You might just be in a more in touch with your words, more in touch with your emotions. Some people can just readily say that. Obviously, I'm one of them. Many of you here are, I could tell. But sometimes our partners aren't. So another thing you can do is you can ask your partner what you think he's feeling. Okay, I need to caution you here, because it's never a good idea for one partner to carry the emotional content for the entire relationship. That's not good. That's not healthy. It's not fair for you. However, allow your partner the leeway to develop these skills, and don't try not to be condescending to say, you're so underdeveloped emotionally, or you're so stunted, or you're so be kind and see what you can do to kind of help it along the way. So I did something on this in my YouTube channel. I think it's how to help your partner emotionally, how to help to communicate. I got all kinds of little 2-3 minute videos on there. See if there's anything that can help. But basically, be kind, be respectful, and allow them some space. So maybe instead of saying, how do you feel? Oh, this is one of the said, instead of asking how you feel, say, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that? Again, some people will tell you, but they really don't like the word feel. It freaks them out a little bit. I don't know why. We all have feelings, but for some people it's like, no. All right. I hope that helps. Okay. And somebody's saying, yes, you have to tell him yourself. Most guys at that age I'm guessing, yeah, don't know everything. And male, female, a lot of, we are just, if we didn't grow up with the right kind of mix to encourage our emotional expression, where else are we going to get it from, right? For some people, their relationships, the first real intimate relationships is their first real encounter with emotions and expressing them. Okay. Married 23 years. Congratulations, I think. But let me read on. I'm the only one who communicates and in-law issues. I'm ready to walk away. Yeah. So I'm guessing you have tried attempts to make your husband, your partner, speak. Like I said, you can't carry the whole thing. And if you have, I guess my question is, what's keeping you there? And my first question would be, my first question is, does your partner know you feel this way? Because this is very important info for him. Does your husband know that after 23 years, between his communication or lack of, and between the in-law issues, you are actually this close to leaving? That's very, very good for your partner to know that, for your husband to know that. So that's the thing, is let them know. So it doesn't become a, oh, why didn't you tell me you were unhappy? Why didn't you tell me, give me a chance? You never gave me a chance, that sort of thing. And it's also for your own, bank of information and memories. So you don't go back and forth thinking, maybe I should have. Try now. Hope that helps. Okay. I will take a look at your videos. Thank you. I tend to get irritated by it. That's okay. And then there's Dylan. I will be okay. So yeah. See what let me know. And I encourage people actually, my DMs are open for questions. So come, and if you had a question here and you kind of prefer to be really private, you notice I'm not saying any of your names for that particular reason, because I will be posting this on my YouTube channel. So that's why I'm doing it. But that said, if you're just kind of like, I don't want to ask my question in front of anybody, DM. And you can also click on my profile. Up there somewhere is an email address, which is, you're welcome to. Okay, next question. Did you or your partner have doubts before getting married? What was your decision-making process? I never did. Now, both of us are really, really old school grown-ups, so the decision was easy. It wasn't so much I'm going to sound like a Hallmark Channel when I say, when you know, you know. You know when somebody is the real thing and somebody is really committed to you, because no matter what you throw, oh, that's the thing. Oh, that's right. On my YouTube, I have one called, Is Your Partner Commitment Ready? Here are some signs. So that's a really good one. And I cannot off the top of my head think of what those are. But the first one I remember is that no matter what you throw at them, you can't seem to get rid of them. No matter what parts of you they find out, they're still there. They just won't go. So that's one of the signs. So I've known other people who've had doubts only to find out that it was, in fact, the wrong decision when they did marry. That said, I know a lot of people, myself included, who tend to doubt a lot of things in general. And it doesn't mean that just because we doubt that we are justified, because some of us are just more, I'm really all about preparedness. And, if you have any kind of little traits of anxiousness in you, then doubt is something very normal. Okay. All right. Am I Indigenous? No, I am from the Philippines, born and raised in the Philippines, moved to Canada 30 years ago. I won't tell you how old I am. Yes, I will, 56. Okay, and she says, everything, he won't get couples therapy. Then I think you've made your decision there, huh? Okay, all right. Okay, and somebody says here, please say more if you're comfortable. This is a huge fear of mine too. Yeah, this is why I put a lot of the questions on here, because how many times do you hear somebody and say, that's me, that's me? Sometimes we see ourselves in other people's questions, right? And so a lot of things get stale when you've been married a long time. A lot of blocks get built between two people. It's like every conversation that didn't happen becomes another big red brick between the two of you. If I were a graphic artist, I would have two people standing there, and every conversation is like another block and another block and another block. And so when conversations don't happen, it just becomes one giant wall, and then it feels like there is no other way here but to go separate. He's a fixer. Yes, there's fixers, but there's also there has to be that openness to say, okay, I can't fix this. I hate that I can't fix this. Surely there's a way that somebody else can help us fix it. Because when we start getting to, I will never go to couples therapy, I will never talk to whatever, I will never, not even to save my marriage, then there's your clue, right? Here is another lovely question. How do I know if I'm having relationship anxiety or intuition? Excellent question. I encourage you to sit down. Okay, two things I'm going to invite you to do. One is to think of maybe 2 or 3 people or 1 or 2 humans that you trust, who you respect, and who value you, and sit down and have an all-out chat with them about this, about your doubts, whether you're being anxious or whether you should be listening to your gut. So have a verbal conversation with someone, as many people as you trust as possible. The other thing is spend an insane amount of time that you can journaling about this every day, quite literally, pen, paper, and just talk about what your feelings are. This is the only journal prompt you need. How do I feel about my relationship and why? That's it. Every day. How do I feel? And maybe it'll be, how do I feel? But whatever, try and get in touch with those feelings that they're kind of hidden under there. Because I think with enough coaxing, you can get at it. And then somebody says here, oh yeah, I told them over and over again. Yeah, when they won't listen. Hi, if I tell my partner what I want from him, and he gets upset with me, how do I go about that? So 2 things that come to mind here. It's possible that your approach to your partner might seem demanding or accusing or blaming. So maybe your partner isn't hearing you because, there's a feeling like you're attacking and like there's no winning. So of course they're gonna get upset. It's possible that that's the issue. Or your partner just doesn't know what you really expect of him, even if you or her, if you're really clear, even if you think you're being clear, sometimes they don't know. So if you're going to get in touch with it, Sorry, I could see somebody talking message, and so I could get in touch with the phrase I used. On my YouTube channel is one about how to have a difficult conversation with your partner. Also on my profile is a freebie that I'm giving away on how to communicate better. So please download that. There's a lot of really useful stuff there. So sometimes when we have to be really clear in what we want from people. And if it's like, you need to change something, that's big, right? Or if it's like, you get too upset too quickly, you got to stop doing that. Like your asks, if you can make them more concrete, might really help. Is that useful to you? That. What a coincidence. My in-laws are Filipino. Then I hear your pain. Yeah. I shouldn't say we, a lot of the culture can be very rigid in some of their beliefs. I'm not going to say we because I exclude myself from the rigid beliefs criteria. But yeah, there could be some really old-fashioned traditional views there. In-law, there we go. I am an in-law to a daughter who has lost her parents to alcohol. My role in the relationship is a scapegoat for her anger and grief. Wow, so not fair to you. How can I transition her to a trusting relationship? Grief makes people weird, unreasonable, irrational, highly volatile, unpredictable, hot mess, all kinds of crazy things. Not crazy in a, just like completely outside of themselves. And so my advice to you is to not take any of this anger personally. So the only thing, I was going to make sure that you didn't comment anymore on this, she wraps her trauma around her like a blanket. I want to help. Okay. So my suggestion then, see if you can offer practical things like, may I offer you a hug? How can I help you? Like, be concrete and be intentional in your willingness to help and be comforting to her. Kind of like setting the tone that I'm here. How can I help you? That doesn't mean you tolerate crap. That doesn't mean you tolerate, meanness or rudeness towards yourself. But you could say, I understand that this is a hard time for you. How can I help? What can I do? So don't sweat the small stuff because small stuff is going to come out. But just be intentional in your willingness to help. But also watch your own stress level because this could be a lot on you. Okay. My boyfriend's mom picked out a wedding ring and dress, and we're not engaged yet. She has boundary issues. So this is the guy who's not quite ready as far as you know, but then yes to journal writing, yes. So I think that that's hilarious. But moms are like that too. Eh? I mean, maybe it's boundary, maybe they're just, is it kind of like a joke to pressure her son to say, come on. Or maybe it's just her putting her own issues into your relationship, which is not cool. Not cool. Oh, you're welcome. You are most welcome. I'm glad. Do you have a podcast? Not yet. YouTube is where I'm at these days. I do have a podcast. There's not a lot on it. I think it's on Spotify. Real Talk with Dr. Elena Sherwood. I've neglected it. I will be rebuilding it once I get my act together. But do stalk my YouTube channel because I have 160 downloads on there now. Some of it's even good. Okay, thank you. And yes, it's hard for me because apparently I sound bitchy all the time. You may come off as bitchy to people who are irritable. So there's a good chance that, I'm loud. As you can tell, I've got this mic and I'm still yelling. And I purposely got myself some headphones so I would stop yelling. But my general pitch is quite pressured sometimes. And that can really irritate my husband. I will definitely check out your YouTube and get in touch. You know where to reach me. In my bio, there's also, you might be interested, there's a little bit of the Filipino culture. It's my own story, the Greatness Finds a Way book. Again, have a look, read the reviews, and see if it interests you. Okay. Should men post their partners on social media? Why should they? Why should they not? Tell me more about your question there. Thank you for your words. I feel heard. Good. You should feel heard, especially when your intention is meaningful. And, it's just, unfortunately, a lot of goodness that we put out there does not get received in the manner that we intend. And that's life, right? Okay. How do I? Oh, thanks for the heart. Oh my good. I love a crown heart. Gifts not necessary, you guys. So thank you. Okay. How do I deal with separation between me and my boyfriend? Separation, do you mean like long distance separation or like you're done breakup separation? Not a breakup. We're like just separated. Okay. May I ask why you're separated? Are you taking a break? Okay. Okay. Taking a break, but you're not over. So I have an issue with taking a break, to be honest, and it's not a popular one, but I'll tell it anyway. If your relationship is in trouble, the last thing you need is distance and space. But some people need that time to kind of get themselves together and find their real positions on things, so they do that. Use this time to reflect on what you want, because this might be a gift that you have to just kind of think, how do I really feel about this? The instinct for us to say is, I really, really want to be with him, right? Because you were there, and if breakups are painful, and obviously you were together for a reason, so you're wanting to be together, you're wanting to continue that. You should not be with anybody who does not want to be with you back. So there, I've said that. Whatever reason for the break, it's very important that at some point the two of you sit down and figure out what is really happening. Because if your boyfriend won't even answer that, I have a whole playlist just on the silent treatment, which I absolutely hate. Because there are two reasons that people use the silent treatment. And one is that they're just emotionally overwhelmed. They can't deal. There's too much. There's that. And that resolves itself. And so if that's the case for you, just kind of wait it out a little bit. Keep the keep it open that if you want to talk, I'm here. If it's the other one, which is it's used to control, then I worry about that. Because when you control somebody, when you try to control a relationship with emotional distancing, which is really what silence is, control and relationships have no business being together. So there should not be control anywhere in a relationship. Okay, not like a breakup, but like we're just separated. I think I took that. I think I saw that. Okay. So use this time to evaluate what you really want, what you're really needing. And if there's always these kind of spaces and, we'll take a break, I'm not sure, all this indecision, that's not a healthy way for two people to be together. And the relationship should at very, 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 very least be healthy, where you can openly talk about things or you learn how to. So many of us don't know a lot of things about relationships and emotions, but if we're going to be in a committed relationship of any kind or get our heart, get close to somebody's heart, we're going to have to learn some basics. Why do I avoid people that I love and close off? Why do you? Are you scared of them? Do you think they're trying to control you? Do you think their intentions aren't good? It's hard to be sometimes around people who love us because it could also mean that you're feeling unworthy, which is unfortunate. Maybe you're feeling like, I don't deserve the love they're trying to give me. That's a common one, unfortunately, too. That's a protectiveness that you're doing. You're kind of like, like you're like you're armoring up a little bit there. And so my question is, what are you hiding? What do you think they're going to do to you? that you somehow feel unsafe. I feel like you guys, like just not safe. From what though? Because people love you. How could you not be safe around them? I just get bored almost and nothing they say reaches me. Ah. What about the other way around? Does what you say reach them? Because it might be that you feel invisible around them, which unfortunately happens. People get busy, people get distracted, and people overlook things. And so it could be that. Is that, people can love you and not really know you and not really see you and not fully accept you, but they still love you. And I'm sure there are people who you love them too. There's parts of them you're probably not crazy about, but I'm sure that in some way, yes, wait, yes, which part? Which part is a yes? Let me know. I want to know. Well, because they do know me, but I don't feel like they see me. And yes, the invisibility too. So, do you though know that they love you? I think you do, because you already said that you do know that they love you. So forgive them for their inability to see you and acknowledge the things that you are, the things maybe that make you special, or the things they have no clue on what to do with. You kind of have to cut them some slack, because some people, the reach of their the emotional range that they're capable of is not the same for everybody. And some people are just more intuitive, and they could say, wow, something's not going on. Something's not well. What's going on? Some people can pick it up right away. And some people, like, you hit it, it's right in their face, and they have no clue on how miserable or how invisible somebody feels. So just got to cut them some slack, and don't expect too much from these people who love you, because not everybody can love you the way you need them to. This is why when we love ourselves and when we put all this effort into taking good care of ourselves, it doesn't really matter who knows us and who sees us, as long as you know you and you see you and you value you. Any words for someone who's losing hope in finding romantic love? Hang in there. My question is, are you putting yourself out there? Like, are you actively doing anything about this? Do you try to go to anything kind of social? I know many people are active on dating apps, and I've said this many times before, that if I found myself in the dating scene, that's the route I would go personally. So again, my question is, what are you doing to make this happen? Don't feel discouraged, because there are so many really, really good humans out there who are also feeling the same way. But you do have to be active. Okay, but I think I got discouraged after many failed attempts. Yeah, I could see that. And that's what many of my other close friends too have reported, who were doing that. And, maybe it's time to just kind of switch up the apps, or maybe just take a break, or maybe, it really depends on what you respond to and what you're looking for, because we have to. I guess my other question is, now I don't know much about what happens on dating apps themselves, but are you being yourself? Like, or are you trying to be somebody you're not? Because that could really portray a different image of you, which is getting you not the right people. Okay, here's a question. Do you have advice for how to remember to put therapeutic strategies into practice in the moment? You have to make it habit, like anything else. And so some people will, depends on what therapeutic strategies you're asking about, right? if it's more, we're talking about mindfulness, or we're talking about CBT, or we're talking about any of that. It really depends on the teachings that you were taught on that and how do you use those. So again, that could be a very specific thing. But in general, if you make it a point, some people will even put things into their calendar to say, oh, take a break every whatever and have a mindful moment, or on every hour, I will, practice some things. So again, it really depends. So like anything else, if your intention is to get it into habit, you have to make it into habit. Like you put post-it notes where you know you're going to see them, put reminders where you know they're going to be. But again, that would be my suggestion about therapeutic strategies to practice. I hope that helps. That's a very general term, but then again, therapeutic strategies are very, very broad also. So very general answer to a very general question. I don't know if that helped. It is. Okay, good. Again, it's like anything else, right? If you are intending to be mentally healthy, okay, if you're intending to be physically healthy, what do? You work it into your day. You decide when you're going to do your workout, whatever version it is. Maybe it's just a 30-minute walk. And then you'll decide, what you're going to wear. You're going to decide if it's indoor or outdoor. And so this is how habits develop. Well, it's the same thing for any of our mind stuff, right? Especially. One of the things I do for my own mental health is every morning, most mornings, the first thing I do when I sit at my desk is I set the timer. I tell my little app here, set the timer for 30 minutes, and then I just journal. And I type. People say write. I'm not big on writing. My hand tends to get cramped up. So I just type and type and type, and it's like a verbal diarrhea kind of thing, and whatever comes up, and I always feel much better after. But that's my practice. I shut my door, I got my coffee, I got my water, I've got my timer, and I go. But that's what I needed to do. Otherwise, I find myself cranky and full of a lot of things that make me not the best person that I could be. So there's that. Oh, I'm glad it's helpful. I am glad. Okay. Makes sense. The timer seems like a great external guide, absolutely, to create a practice. Thanks. Some people will also do anything that will include your different senses. Maybe it's something visual. Maybe it's something, obviously the auditory with the timer, something you could feel in your hands, just give yourself as many of these little reminders as you can. Let me just say thank you for hanging out with me for a few minutes here. Appreciate your vulnerability in asking me questions. And so to all of you, I'm wishing you good mental health and much love.